Yo, another stream. This time today doing some photos. It has been a hot fucking minute since I've done photos, or had anything new. I've been living in a cave. Been super fun. But yeah, I got out to New York for a week. Did some touristy shit. Ate a bunch of good food. A great fucking time. Carried my camera around with me a little bit. Yeah, I got the new iPhone 13 Pro, and that plus Lightroom is kind of a game changer for me. I'm coming off an 11 Pro, and I don't know what it is, but the camera on there is just super fucking capable. Um, and for me, who's got this weird sort of like I don't know what to call it. Um, I'm just like oddly uncomfortable taking my camera out and doing the touristy thing, and like it just seems like such a I don't know. I really can't think of it. I've had this problem for a long time, but being able to inconspicuously take out my phone now somehow is better in my head. Let me see, like if I can pull up my Stream Deck's not working again. It hasn't worked for the last like 3 or 4 streams. I don't know what's going on. Well, like, so this is a shot that was taken and edited on my phone. Um, and I'm not mad about the color. And I think what gets me, and something I'm not totally sure of, is like how the fuck this is such good quality. Like from a phone, so this is cropped at 16:9 as well. Like it's 4030 by 2267 at 300 DPI. But it says like on the phone that it's 12 megapixels. Like, am I like I don't understand what I'm missing. Is it upscaling to some degree? Is it like it doesn't look nearly the same quality, but like keep in mind like for this size on my display, like this my display is at 6K, and like I don't see a ton of upscaling. I see some like I did a lot of negative clarity on this one, more for like posting on the gram. If I was going to do something like a print, I feel like I could walk some of that back and get some like information back in this, but god damn, like it is super impressive. So I haven't really looked at I mean, so I did a quick pass through the photos from the trip, just to kind of weed out all like the really shitty ones, all of, like the misfires. I left some in there to show intent if people are kind of curious how I shoot and look at things. I've gotten questions about that before. And yeah, by the way, go Kings. Season starting. All my friends in the stream, Sharks fans, Ducks fans, especially Blues fans, you can all go fuck yourself. I hope you lose every game this season. Now that the petty shit's out of the way, yeah, let's do some. I'm gonna dive into it. I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm supposed to be on earlier. Um, my internet has been out all morning, so I do need to jump out in a second to go get some laundry. It like just came back on, and I had this grand plan of coming back in and doing this kind of early, but yeah, it didn't really work that way. Why is it not? Yeah, nope, that's not it either. Sorry, this list is just bonkers. I realize I sound like a really old man saying the word bonkers, but it's where we're at today. And I'm here for it. Where are you? Lightroom does not want to show up. How about now? Well, it might be a desktop stream. I really don't understand this. There's been some upgrades to to the Stream Deck, and it's or not Stream Deck, Streamlabs. And you keep on thinking they're gonna fix all this shit, but they don't. It's like, is it that hard to like read Windows? Like it's you kind of have like one job with all this shit, and it's like you're not doing it. Okay, it's a desktop stream. It would be good as you can see my cursor, anyways. I got to redo all of my stream assets and all that. Yeah, it's very lackluster. So yeah, and if anyone's here, hit me with any questions as always. Kind of here for whatever. I do want to predominantly edit photos. That's my goal, is to get through some of this stuff and add it to the TV app. That's been largely neglected with the reel, a couple client projects, travel. So I'm back here. I'm not going anywhere for a long time. I'm fucking working. And also have some fun stuff in the works. So yeah, I don't know the best way to go through this. There's did some trips through Chinatown. Did some like high-rise sunset views, which I think will be pretty cool. Some sneaky shots of my girlfriend, who's probably gonna kill me because I found out she also watches this stream periodically. Yeah, but they're largely filtered out. So yeah, if you don't know my system, I kind of go through and flag the potential ones as yellow. It's kind of like a stoplight idea of wait, why is it not hiding? Don't need you to select them. What's going on? I'm using a tablet right now, so I feel like it might be bugging out. Yeah, some weird stuff. But yeah, stoplight mentality. Oh, so it's filtering it, but it's not filtering it. What is it? Edit time. Oh, so it's counting. Capture, no, capture time. Weird. That's something I missed in Lightroom, or not Lightroom, Capture One, was edit time. Like you could not sort by edit time when I left Capture One, which I'm still paying for. And if you want the license, I'm happy to give it to someone. Should do a giveaway or some shit. I don't know where I want to start. Chinatown had some rad colors. I don't know if I really did that great of a job shooting Chinatown. I think I did better on my phone. Where could I start? Or the stuff from the high rise. Like some of these textures of like the city, I was not mad about. And now I'm curious, like after editing on the phone also, like that's using the new Lightroom, not Lightroom Classic, but it's the Lightroom engine. And I'm just getting weird feelings like there's like it manages colors a lot better on that than it does through Classic. That or like the interface is something that I'm just more comfortable with. I really don't know. Like I just found myself like flying through tabs and just like aggressively playing with curves, and it did a pretty good job of smoothing things out. I really got used to it quite a lot. So yeah, that's one thing I'm kind of mentally keep an eye on today. But yeah, hopefully I can get some done and like happy with them. Only issue with these is like I think it's showing up here. Again, not something many people would notice, but this is shot through glass at an angle too. And so kind of just checking to see, make sure there's no like, what is it, like light refraction. Like this is, I think, the reflection of someone standing next to me potentially. There's more egregious ones on my phone, but Yeah, I think it should be okay. And yeah, I'm trying to use my tablet to do this, and I'm not very precise. I just was like on a laptop doing like this claw grip shit forever, and then I was on the plane trying to work for the whole way back, and I was just like T-Rex hands the whole fucking way. So play music. So if you're in Twitch, yeah, Twitch. I gotta remember I'm on I'm on full screen desktop. Been a minute since I did this. If you're on Twitch, you do exclamation point playlist. It'll give you the link to this. If you do exclamation point commands, it'll also do it. Been adding a bunch. Let me just make sure I'm not broadcasting this to the stream. That would be unfortunate. I am not. There you go. Yeah. One thing I was also playing around with too was the grain settings, which kind of getting ahead of myself here, but like I was really playing with like large grain. It's gonna be hard to really tell in this image because there's so much going on. But like I was really pushing the grain size. This feels, I don't know if this is it. I mean, I'm looking like right here on like where it's being applied. And it feels too heavy. So like I'm really curious if there's like little nuance differences between this and um the new one. All right. Yes. It's been a minute since I've done this, so I gotta like get back kind of my workflow a little bit. If I will like that. I don't know what it is about New York, but like the color palette of like all the buildings, the brick, the glass, it's like this. I don't know. I love it. I don't think I did any favors with that. I think I probably made it worse. Sorry, it's if it's getting cold and like I don't know why I've got like I got a defective nose. Just doesn't like it. So if I'm like sniffling and stuff, I apologize. We'll try and keep that to a minimum. Um, so I didn't use my, so last time I also added like the dark, close all this stuff. By the way. Oh, I probably should have left that open. You can see like direct comparison. Like it's interesting. I haven't seen this sort of on top of each other sort of. There's a lot of negative clarity going on here, but I mean, you could, yeah. This is also like the reflection I was talking about too. You can see it really showing up quite a lot. I mean, quality's noticeably better on this, as it obviously should, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. iPhone cameras, fucking viable. Interesting, just really pulling out those highlights. I don't want it to feel artificial though. Adam, it's good. Well, I can see this a lot today. Um, City, like, I don't know what it is, but something about like bluish green midtones and then warmer shadows. For me, like, it's just, it always clicks in my head. And sometimes like blue highlights too. Like, I mean, I'm not too mad about that. I think it's starting to feel a little nicer. But like, just the, like, I haven't done any HSL. Oh God, the tablet pan doesn't like it. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean the color balance, even just like a little bit of color grading on top of like what I think is just naturally a great color palette. And so this is sunset, so I think being honest to that isn't necessarily a bad thing. And again, global, like I try and be pretty light with it. I saw it on some YouTube video, but someone equated it to just like it's the glue between color grading, and I think that's kind of stuck with me. It's like I wouldn't use it as like a wholesale, like, so if you're really trying to get into cinematic color grading, like wholesale color applications are not the way to go. I think there are times to do it, but like if you want to create something that has like any level of like, I'm gonna say it wrong because I haven't had enough coffee. Dynamism. You want it like to be dynamic enough. Like you want to create color contrast through the different luminosity ranges. And like the way you do that is by like, yes, you can skew everything blue or everything warm, but like you create little color contrast between it. Whether that's just like leaning into the shadows being more red, or that's like, I don't know, just like creating a little bit of color contrast through it, I think goes a long way. Like if you just like wholesale, just like, that's why I don't believe in color grading through temperature and tint, at least not initially. Like sometimes I'll come back to it and I'll just fuck with it. It's like I don't know, like I applied a lot through color grading and did some HSL. Like I just need the balance to shift a little bit without going through and doing, it's kind of a lazy way to do it, so that's why I wouldn't really advocate for it. But yeah, you know, we all do things we're not proud of sometimes. Oh, yeah, this is just looking worse and worse. I think I'm gonna have to do like a little local edit to kind of just paint that in a little bit. Interesting, pushing the greens to yellows, like it helps in some places, but I think it flattens it in others. See, there's really not much blue going on there. Little places here and there. You could see it like kind of light up in here. Was that some rooftop tarp? It's all just like tarps. It's like the Where's Waldo of tarps. Like, here you go. New York's full of tarps on the roofs, apparently. Hmm. Sorry, just thinking about stupid things in my head. So again, I talk about it a lot, but like chasing your sliders, like if you want to create smoothness, unless you're trying to create contrast, then like have a lot of disparity between them. But if you're trying not to, like I'm trying to enhance the oranges and the reds, but I don't want to like artificially enhance like the contrast. Like I think I've reduced it, if anything, in some senses. Like these are pretty warm. Almost miss some of the contrast. I feel like the highlights are a little too mashed. That's not the answer. That's too much of like the, maybe this is a curves thing. And this is one way to do it. And one thing to look out for when you like modify luminosity a lot is to look at saturation. A lot of times if you're brightening it, you lose saturation. So if you want to kind of keep it neutral, you got to just offset it with increased saturation. It's always interesting. So if you don't know, it's backslash is the kind of, it's the shortcut for previewing the start, finish. Although I'm really confused on why the lens correction looks worse. It looks more bubbled. I really don't get that. Feels a touch warm too. Yeah, that's so much better. Oh yeah, probably owe apologies. I think last two streams I said I'd be coming on later, and I never did. That was like just packing. It was like partially optimistic thinking that I'd get on. I have every intention of doing it. I don't know if I should just shut my mouth on those things and just show up and it'll be great. Me and schedules just do not get along, so I apologize. I'm trying, but no client week. No client week this work. Yep. Coming back for coffee real quick. Probably when I go and have to switch or grab my laundry. I think it'll be my third cup. Yes, I want to fix this. This is bothering me. Let's forget the shortcuts. No, that's not it. Nope. I thought there was a way to modify the size. I'm trying to find the keyboard shortcut that you hold. No. Oh well. Tried not to do too much with global values. I'd rather like be a little more nuanced with it. It's better. Almost looks like it's warmer. Yeah. Better. It's not perfect, but it's like much less noticeable than it was before. Oh yeah. I got fully distracted. Lens correction. What the fuck is going on here? I played around with this before, but like the idea of like really like there was a way to do it before. I think it was Capture One, where you could almost like zoom out of an image and like really fuck with perspective a little bit. It's kind of interesting. You can see the vignetting's right. Like it has that pretty well dialed. I don't know why the distortions. One other thing I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this right. I'm curious. I don't think that's gonna be any good. Oh, I'm so unprecise with this. That's not good. Nope, don't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the mouse out for this because well, it's probably gonna lose all audio. This is the game I play with Bluetooth. Like I turn something on and something goes out. Like it's headset, it's hey, still here. Okay. I love my tablet, but I cannot be precise with these kind of things. Huh. I do like everything vertical. Pretty well vertical. There's some stuff that looks a little off. This is again where I kind of enhance that warmer tones. Like this, something about the curves, like color grading doesn't quite get it right. Learn your curves. I think this is where you can really like push the stylistic elements to another level. At least that's what I feel like I was able to do. You can get into weird like I don't know, like you get into these like crazy blue highlights by just like by removing color versus adding it, which I think you're technically supposed to add it. Um, but you can get this like weird processed look um by removing. It's kind of like filmish ish. I did notice I was getting a lot more contrast on my edits done on the phone. I was kind of liking it. So that's what I use as my guide, but like it's too prominent. I think it's distracting from the texture, so I'm gonna go ahead and clip that. Later, nerd. So now it's just kind of like this ambient texture. But it's still there. And I kind of like these buildings along the bottom. Like, I don't, you lose some of the scale. Like, maybe there's a trade off. Maybe I can still have my cake and eat it too. I'm also looking at these buildings here and how if they're too tight to the edge. These kind of just blend into like a building texture. Now that local edit looks like shit. What happened? Thought we were cool. It's too cool now. Almost like I hate adding clarity, but might be what it needs. The dehaze? Might be dehaze. Oh, son of a bitch. Forget if you like, I don't understand this. Like, if you option click any of these, it resets everything but that. I get it, like you have reset up here, but the amount of times I've reset local edits because of that is a lot. So dehaze seems to be doing the number. Makes sense. Kind of like hazy reflection in the glass. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's a little flat through some of the shadows. Go ahead and put both in here. I think that's maybe the one thing I want to fix is like get rid of some of this chunk. I'm gonna do that. I'm not really. You see, like it gets exacerbated. I'm not even gonna say it. Exacerbated. I should know better than trying those kind of words right now. There's something too, like sort of darker feeling, but just the way it's applied, like it's just chunky. Shadows up. That might save some of it. This is just not advisable. I gotta lift a little bit, just compromise, meet in the middle. Yeah, I like it more. Might fuck with this just a little bit more. Yeah, and this is one of those, like, if you don't really need to do it, I don't think you should. The less you do to a photo, the better, in my opinion. Done quite a lot to this fucking thing. But yeah, I'm happy with that. Urban select. Caption urban. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it urban. Was it? I do remember it. Fuck yeah. That's one down. Copy this. I can't imagine. So there's so many variations in here. This is one that I think is probably a money shot. Yeah, I didn't think this was gonna port. I might be able to save it, but it's one of those where it's like, you know, I want to make sure I get this right. I don't have that stupid reflection there. Close. Like it's not terrible. I struggle, like, so on the phone I struggled with the sky on this one. Like it was too blue. And when I cropped it out, it felt a lot better. But let's see what can be done. I know this is kind of the same kind of shot, so hopefully this isn't too repetitive. Again, feel free to ask any questions. Photo, non-photo, whatever. I'm here for it. See how timer's doing. Timer.
There are no timers set.
Timer? Well, there's no timer set. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Should be enough. I don't want to be that guy who leaves his laundry in the washer forever so no one else can do their laundry. There's someone who did that, so I actually can't use the dryer because someone left it in there overnight and this morning. I'm really trying hard not to give them some passive aggressive, not passive aggressive. I'll tell them, yo, get this shit moving. Like the guy like from Dumb and Dumber outside the phone booth. Have you heard of the concept of other people? So good. Hey, bro. Welcome to Instagram. Sorry. I could probably squeeze in at least one Instagram rant. I fucking had it with Instagram. Like, if you want to know, like, if you want to track the difference in your account growth, like, just look at your insights and look at the number of non-followers your posts reach. It will just, it's just a constant progression downward. And I know I probably sound salty about it. I don't like, it's just frustrating because I poured so much into it only for it to just be like clipped at the knees because I'm not fucking paying them for exposure. Like they literally give you exposure and then take it away in the hopes that you pay to regain it. And like there's like look at all these older accounts that have all this reach and they never really broke through enough. Like I think if you get through to a certain point, you can get enough followers who will start liking things and it gets caught up in the algorithm and like it gets in front of a lot of people regardless. But for me and a lot of other photographers who get like mid-level, like for me it's like 14,000. Like it doesn't, it's, you don't get enough like organic traffic because it also limits it to who's following you. Like they have to opt into that because I'm not going to go on about that. But yeah, like my organic reach to new people is now 1%. It used to be 25 to 35. I've like done hashtagging, I've done all this shit, and like my photos have, in my opinion, have gotten miles better. I look at those old photos that got all this traction. I can't get 10% of that traction. And not just like, okay, maybe I don't get it every time, but it is literally like I cannot scratch the surface. I'm getting 100 likes when I used to get 7,000. Like, go ahead and explain that to me. I would love to understand it. And so I feel like Instagram can go fuck its hat. Like I've been doing all this effort to put in like create carousels and all this production behind it, show the zoom. Like it's just, it's not worth it. I really can't be bothered. And it sucks. Because again, it's probably like my most, like I'm most popular on Instagram of all my platforms. And that's the one I got to care the least about because it's just, there's other things at play that are just out of my control and I don't want to pay. So there's that. I was going to post that on Instagram just as a rant, but maybe this is my safe space. I'll kind of test the tinfoil hat theory. That seems too cold. Gotta warm this fucker up a little bit. There we go. So yeah, like I'm now posting phone images with I'm posting portrait phone images on Instagram. I never would have caught me doing that for. I didn't do that for like 3 years. I just finally just said fuck it. So, and plus the other thing is like this camera is so goddamn good. So I turn the light on because I'm a boomer. Like I'm just gonna start posting more shit, and it's just like multiple a day. I don't really give a fuck. Not worried about like what cadence I'm posting at. Fuck cares. I'm just gonna post when I can and just have fun with it. And not see it as like a gateway to my photography going anywhere, because there's gatekeepers there that I'm not gonna fucking pay the piper for that. So alright, I'm done with Instagram rants. No need. Little heavy. I still want this to be warm. I think like just I'm looking at this edit, like how cool this is. Like this is more representational, if you ask me. I think there's something interesting about this being so blue and like having the warmer tones offset. Like this is a little bit more stylistic. And maybe this goes there, I don't know, but like just seeing this now, like it feels a little bit closer to what it should be. So just as I say that, I'm thinking about going back to like blue highlights and kind of neutralizing a little bit. You can see like how much more, how like it's a lot warmer. And I think like through the curves we can get a little more refined. So that's the process I've kind of resolved on, is do color grading and then get into the channels of the curves panel afterwards to kind of like added style, kind of little more like nuanced application of color. Because this is like great for keeping it smooth. Like you won't get too much banding. Like you really got to push hard on these to get banding. So yeah, that's where like you can still get in a lot of trouble with curves. And if you don't know, this luminance slider is one of my favorite. Oh no. Let's go. This might crash the stream, so I apologize. Not using my profile because I'm stupid. If I crash, I'll be right back. Think we're still here? Hey. Get out here. Okay, so now I got my color profile on, so that locks brightness. So I do want to go back and check this to make sure. Oh, I don't know what that's about. I don't know if I like that as much. It feels too chunky. Like it just feels flat in the shadows. Which I'm fine losing information, but it just has this like chunky feel to it that I don't really care for. It's better. Go ahead and save over the other one. I may come back to this. Just checking clarity, see if there's any sort of ghosting going on. This is the one we're on. So even like comparing like two very different vibes. This like, so this is the pasted from the one I was just on, like if you're just joining now. Where it kind of gets you to an interesting spot. I think there's some cool stuff going on in terms of like this balance through here. And that makes sense because that's basically what is being applied to in the other shot. But this with the broader sky, like the color balance is different, the vibe's different. Like there's more of the sky. Well, there's sky at all. So that's where I don't really believe in kind of copying and pasting edits. Like it never really translates. With exception to like very narrow differences, like between this shot and this shot, like similar lighting conditions. I think this is probably really obvious, but you know, once you get into like shit like this, I think you're either have to do a lot of work to kind of walk it back, but then to me, I'd argue like you're just trying to hammer a square peg in a round hole. Like it's, I don't know. Seems like you're putting your energy into like forcing something versus just like probably would take you just as long to just do it from scratch like this. That's just me. Yeah, this is where I think getting into channels, do my little red lift. Which again, like it feels kind of chunky. I feel awful. It's just, yeah, it's like flat. Like, what's going on? I know that'll help it, but I don't want. Like, this is a little bit. I've never, like, what the fuck does this do? Hide shadow clipping. Oh, so it's like your warnings. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I should test the grain on this. This is a little bit better one to do it on. Is you got like this kind of flat space. So this is what it was. Well, if I put in actual numerical value, which I think is all right. I think it could be a little bit bigger. That feels better. And so also this is like where you, like really good litmus, probably not litmus test. I don't think that's the right word. But like if you want to understand like the problems with negative clarity and dehaze, like it works for a lot of things. It's not perfect, but like you start like it's either like you push it really far and you just like lean into the kind of ghosting of it, which I did in the phone version of this. Like that's kind of how this is getting so ghosted. There's like this weird middle ground where if you push it to a spot where there's high contrast and like you just start seeing like this like halo around things, and it's very noticeable once you see it and like you know what's happening. um it's not really too bad on this, if I'm being entirely honest. I do like what the negative clarity is doing of just kind of like just softening it a lot. But again, like there's something nice about what's going on here. But this is the other edit. Oh, we're bugging out. Other thing that gets me is like the green through here. So this is where I think I'll do some like color correction. But see, like the greens that helps the sky, but like it loses a lot through here, if you ask me. Like some of the greens through here, losing that's kind of not ideal. I don't like doing it, but I wonder if there's something to be said about like fucking with the tint on this. No. Oh shit. I think it helps. I almost wonder if I just like help it along a little bit, like get it warmer. If I do these, I try and soften them out as much as I can. All right, what was this down here? Oh, that's my highlights. Yeah, it's been so long. I gotta go get my laundry out of the laundry place. And I'm gonna get more coffee because my brain's clearly words are escaping me pretty quickly. Yeah, give me 2 minutes. I gotta run down, grab it. I'll be right back. I'm getting some different kinds of photos. This one's close. Feeling pretty good about the issues I had with the other one. But yeah, give me 5. I'll be right back. this thing on? It is. All right. Sorry about that. I also hang dry all my shit, so I had to just like, it is literally like everywhere in my living room. I got stuff hanging from from like the poles on all the cabinets and shit. Like it's just a whole thing. I love this song. I'm gonna put on shuffle. I've heard this stuff a lot lately. All right, I'm gonna see if I can go back to the tablet. Oh, I pushed my luck. So audio went out on my headphones. Tablet, I can't hear shit. It's bugging out. It like can't even. Love it. Well, it's off now. Well, I guess I'm stuck on now. I got it to work once. Where are you? There we go. And we're back. Okay. But yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty good about this. It'd be interesting to get some of these buildings a little bit more pronounced. Can't even really can't reach these buildings. I wonder if there's a way. Sorry, I'm thinking kind of loud. Like, so every time I do a reference, like the original, it's not the original. It's a different variant, and I don't know why. Like, maybe is there? What's the key command for that? Compare? No. I miss having a second screen. Someday I'll be back. Compare, yeah. Lightroom. It's probably a good reason for that, but I can't recall what it is. Good job. Thanks, Jim. Do the visual by using the history panel to develop. Yeah, they're getting the whole. Select any step in history, right click, copy history step. Settings to before. This step in history will now become your before image. This could be the original import. Oh, that's interesting. Create history. So I'm here. Hey, it fucking works. That's really cool. Happy to know that. Only thing I'm looking at, like, as I was hovering over some of these, like, this looks better. Shit. No. Maybe it's just too over the top with some of the warm coloration. Something I've been doing a little bit more lately is like accentuating light sources. Oh, yeah, it's O. Invert. Yeah, not quite like that. Kind of adds like a little bit of like a haze. It just helps accentuate some of the light source. I don't know if I really like it. Lumens range, let's set it only to the highlights. Smooth. And I'm really only applying this to the highlights, which I think is a better idea. Like any wholesale color, I just don't advise. I don't know if it feels too. I don't mind it. I just think I gotta tone it back a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I think this is a good first take. This is one that I think will be, there'll be a lot of variations on this. Coming back to it with fresh eyes of like, you know, it's, what do I make it? Hey, that's why my stream deck is. I forget all my shortcuts. Yeah, but I think this one I'm gonna hold off from really putting my foot down too much on. In terms of like, yeah, I'm convinced this is the answer. The other one I think is a little more straightforward. This one, 166. Like, again, there's it still feels chunky to me. Like every time I come back, I feel the chunk, and that has helped. It's flatter. Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad. Let's see something else. Jump around, get some range. Chinatown. Portraits. Girlfriend's gonna kill me. Some of these like architecture ones I thought could be kind of cool. Not that one. I touched the scroll wheel and I'm gone. Doing this. Buildings are wild. It'd be good to do something that's not like super dark. It's kind of like higher contrast. Similar to the stuff I was posting on the gram. Like, kind of want it like dark and cold, but I don't know if I'm gonna do all that much to this. So I can't tell if it's lens correction problems or what. No, just special. This is one that'll definitely benefit from perspective. Oh, is it crooked now? One thing I can never quite wrap my head around. Like if you modify, see, now I want the whole thing. You modify the transform, but it makes it crooked. Did I just do a really bad job of changing the angle? Like this is crooked for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know. Who knows? It's kind of funny. I mean, quiet stream outside of Adam rocking through. Still trying to figure out what people want to see. Like sometimes it's photos. Most of the time, it's really not. But I don't give a shit. I'm gonna keep doing photos. Not that I don't care what people like. It's more I'm streaming when I'm doing things that I like. With the hopes that there's people that are interested. There's been a lot of people who asked about photos. But photo people don't really show up to streams. It's kind of interesting. This is absolutely fucking crooked. Losing my mind. So yeah, my apologies if you're see, no, this is crooked. Something happened with the perspective, like it's not right. Try auto. Do your worst. It was better than me. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like I'm not gonna like neglect photos. Like that's a big part of me, and if people want to watch, they want to watch. If they don't, they don't. And I'm not mad at people who like just roll through for design streams. Like if you're a designer, I can't expect you to give a shit about photos. Just not the reality. I want this to feel like cold, but pretty neutral, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't want this. Like, I want this to almost feel like sterile. That's the feeling I want. Don't know if those red midtones are doing me any favors. This feels better without it. This is again why, like, so I solicit feedback in the comments. Like, let's make this better. Like, I can't promise I'm gonna like just bend what I'm doing. Maybe I'll stream more of something or less of something. Like, I'm always working, literally almost around the clock. Outside of 6 hours of sleep a night, that is my time off. Probably not super healthy, but what can you do? Like, let's make this fucking useful. There's some things I want to stream, I just don't know if I can. It's like doing all the branding stuff. Like client branding work, I absolutely cannot stream that. That is without a doubt unstreamable. Unless there's something with the client where it's like, there's passion projects I'm doing. That one I think I am gonna stream. Branding project for a friend. And then girlfriend and I are working on a a brand, and that's what I worked on the flight home. That's why I got these T-Rex hands, wrists that are just not feeling great. I don't know if I can't, obviously can't stream it from scratch because I worked on it in New York and I didn't have a streaming setup. But maybe just kind of picking up with where it's at. It's kind of fun. Then I'm working on another app with my brother. Kind of just pitched me the idea the other day, and I think it'd be a lot of fun to do. So I think I'm gonna jump on that. That one I don't know if I can stream or not either because it's like, not that I'm worried someone's gonna like steal my ideas, but I don't know. Oh, as transparent as I want to be, sometimes it doesn't make sense to be 100% transparent, but we'll see. There's a lot of like random things going on. Tavarua site. So I was working on the last couple streams, really close to being done. I kind of chipped away at that on when I was in New York every evening. I'd jump on, worked a bunch last night. It's getting there. I don't know if Mike caught that. I hope not. Really, the only place you see green is through here. I pay all this money and it's already fucking resting. Can't even imagine, like, rent in New York is just fucking bananas. Started looking at, like, I have no inclination of moving to New York. Like, what would that cost? How much would I have to make to fucking live here? And it is a lot of damn money. More than New York is worth to me. This is again where I feel like I can be more precise. So I try not to do any more than 3 points typically. Sometimes you'll see me like fuck around down here. Like if it's a dark image and I kind of need to get a little closer, or if I see reasons for modifying like narrow reason areas, like the shadows are just not quite right. This is where you can get like into like the details of like color correction through the individual channels. I think I like the original colors more. What is this? Yeah, this just feels better. Where did I go wrong? Is it here? Yeah, I think I went too cold with it. I realize this isn't the most like emotive image. Too much. So I'll test like going less than 45, pulling up some of these shadows. Like you technically shouldn't do that, but sometimes you can get away with it, and it helps reduce like some of these flat spots. But again, like it's taken me a long time to like just be okay. Like this is totally like a flat spot, but that's how it should be. Like there's no information there that you should be seeing. I still like this color more. Like through the middle, I don't know what it is. HSL. Kind of. It feels like it's getting like red. That's starting to feel better. Ish. See, now I'm going so far, like I'm fighting this color grading now, which is not where you want to be. Now that I kind of like backed off the cools, like midtones, I can probably walk back some of this hue shift I was doing. But it still doesn't. Looks like it's too red. Like I don't. It looks way worse. Through here. This might be correctable through here. Hmm. Hmm. Kind of a tricky one. All right, to start. You can see a lot of like a lot of obvious photos being taken. I want to get back into that. Get into something gritty. So a lot of these are like shot from the hip. Like I'm literally just like holding my camera right here and just I would even like pretend like I'm holding it like this and just have it like across my chest. So sometimes you'll see like my shoulder in some of the shots. Like I could be looking at that wall just because I don't feel comfortable pointing my camera at people. Kind of my issue. I'm not sure if this is going to cause me problems. Don't really need it. I don't know if I want them perfectly centered either. I like the context of the street. Let's leave it for now. Maybe I'll get away with it. Again, hit me with any questions, photo, design, whatever. I'm just excited to do photos again. It's been so damn long. I'm waiting for some people who I owe photos to pop into the stream. Yo. I have to do test prints. There's a lot I have to do. I'm really trying to like shit can that sky. Like, I don't even want to fucking deal with it. Better crop in like a lot. Tempting. Yeah. See, it all feels a little lopsided. It's really gonna need something to cool it off. That's helping. Interesting. I was a lot more prone to be aggressive with color grading on my phone. Still don't know why. Something about it has really kind of shifted my mindset. Like even this does not feel nearly as aggressive. Checking the grain. Because I know how much I was pushing on the phone, like I'm more inclined to be liberal with adjustments here. Kind of fucking with my head a little bit, I'll be honest. Hmm. Slightly disappointed? I don't know what I was expecting, but I thought I'd get more out of this. Hmm. Yeah, wildly disappointing. I don't know. Not it. Not gonna lie. Like if I wasn't so I have to upgrade hard drives on this thing because I'm out of space. That's a whole fucking thing I have to do. Time machine backup. So I'm trying not to add anything else, but um, I do want to try like the new Lightroom. I know there's less tools in there, but I don't know what to think about it. It's really fucking with me right now. So you might see me kind of bounce back to that at some point. I do portrait. It's like the same lighting though. This is flat lighting. It's kind of boring. Maybe get abstract. That little fucking corner. Hmm. Might get kind of weird with this just because it's so abstract. Like I don't really have to play by any rules. I can just make this as visually interesting as possible. That's kind of, I'm happy with it. Leave that. It's not really getting me much. Here's see what this does for it. Hmm. I think I stand to gain much by doing a ton in here. There's a chance I can get weird with it. Chances are it's just going to create more contrast, and it's really fucking contrasty for my typical taste. You want to call it that? Bring in the blues into the highlights helps. Blues, like, yeah, being selective about where the blues live. Like, it kind of contains it to here. Elevating in the shadows kind of helps soften bridge the gap between the two. It's not like the craziest. Almost like the colors of the original more. Almost like everything about the original more. Doesn't always work out, you know? I think this is getting it closer to the original. So it looks too red. Yeah, the hue is just not, it's not quite right. I don't know if that's a kind of interesting pulling that up. Yeah, I don't know if that's a color collaboration, color grading problem. Be a temperature problem, is it? Might be. It's feeling more balanced. Pretty close. Yeah, not bad. I'm really bummed I didn't get another angle of this. Like zoomed out more or anything. I think this is the one I was looking for the whole time. Oh, this shit, like everyone's done. No, I'm not going black and white with that. Like the shit, like if you go somewhere where like everyone's done everything, I like to just pull into the details. Doesn't always work. Again, kind of breaking my typical rules for this. Like, it's kind of weird, like the trickle down effect of saying fuck it on Instagram, how it's having an effect on like how I just think about my approach to photography in general. And like any of my like art, I think a lot of it is heading towards art these days. Um, the more art I can do, the better. It's just like not caring too much and just letting go and having all these preconceived notions and workflows and all this shit and just being like, you know what, like doesn't fucking matter. They become more constraints than anything. I want to see if I can get this to work. It's trying to cheat the sky because I think the sky's blown out entirely. Kind of interesting going that dark. But yeah, sometimes if you blow your skies out, sometimes with the color grading, if you really hammer the highlights with the blue, you can kind of like fake color your sky. Again, don't know if that's great advice or absolutely terrible, but that's for you to decide. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, kind of because these are so one-dimensional and like there's such a predominant color, like you can really fuck with it a lot with the color grading. Like that's why you might have to like jump back into HSL or even the curves panel to kind of modify like how much is being applied. Because it's like with the ocean, like if you start doing a color grade on like a seascape or something, you can like color grading it, but it's such like a limited color range and a limited luminosity range where it really just like you're just changing, you're basically using the HSL on a broader sort of application, which maybe you want, maybe you don't. I typically don't really like it. Um, but yeah, it's kind of like that's why like I just presets just don't work. Like I, I thought about selling some. I might sell some like utility type things of like my starter files, like what I do to start my files. And like from there, it's just like go nuts. Like there's a lot of workflow things that I think are built into it where I think there's value to it. But even then, it's kind of like, I don't know. Gotta explore. You gotta fuck up. You gotta, I don't know. It's so funny, like people showing process on Instagram of like this really refined straight line. I was thinking about it, I was like, how the fuck are they like, I never work like that. Like, who just does these wild ass posters and color grades and stuff in a straight line? And like, it's like, yeah, the people who are just like copying, pasting, and doing the same boring shit that's been done. It's like, if you want to do what's been done, like, you can be in a straight line all day long. Maybe this is me getting on my pedestal for a minute, but I just don't, yeah, like, I'm trying to normalize the struggle, I guess, in some ways. Like, you want to do something different, like, you're going to suck at it for a long time. And there was, it's kind of funny, like, referencing Kenny Beatstream, because he's just a goofy ass music producer, but had some guest on just talking about the importance of failing fast. That's really true. Like, you got to put yourself out there, and it's like, another thing she was saying was like, successful people, they don't have it figured out. They just, they had they were more fearless about their approach and being more willing to fail than other people. There's some people who don't fail and they just kind of like just cruise in a straight line to the top, and like much more the exception than the rule. Like, I don't even know how much that even happens, to be honest, but like being comfortable with failure and struggle, like it's really going to serve you in the long run. I think it served me. I don't know. Or people like come here and think less of me because I'm just like, ah, fuck, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. Fuck, like, what is this? What's that about? Like, it's like people DM me like asking me like I all these things and just assume I know all this shit, and it's like I'm just as clueless as the next person. Like, I've just been doing this longer and I've kind of honed in on like what that narrow I fuck up less in like a smaller space, I think, but I'm still fucking up on a daily basis. Like, it doesn't go away. I hate to say it. You just get to a point where people don't notice the fuck ups. As they're not as obvious, I guess. People will still notice them. People kind of know their shit will start noticing the fuck ups, but yeah, that's life lessons. No, they're not life lessons. Don't listen to me. Do your thing. All these buildings and textures. So there's gonna be a wallpaper pack I'm gonna come out with because there's just so many textures between this and then some of like the shit that was shot on my phone. My girlfriend would kill me if I did a photo of her on stream. 50-50 chance she does. I like my chances. She's been a amazing sport putting up with me just like pointing my camera and just like this one's somewhere in the middle. I like it's actually a blown, like I blew the focus on this entirely. But I like the fact that like she's in the foreground here and the focus is on the city. It's kind of interesting. It is another one of these photos, so if you're here earlier, sorry. I'll try and do something a little different with this. And as always, I feel like it's something they do in radio. They do like resets periodically, and I feel like I should probably do that. Yeah, if you have anything you want to ask me non-photo related, like definitely don't hesitate. Today is not a work day. I just haven't edited photos in a while, so I kind of want to just make some progress, get some stuff onto the photo share, screensavers, TV apps. And if you don't have those, now's your time to go ahead and pick those up. I think it's Twitch !screensaver and exclamation. Why do I say exclamation point? I don't understand these things sometimes. Exclamation TV app? I would do exclamation commands. That's where you'll find all that stuff. I'm not going to do a dark photo, I promise. I'm going to open this up again. Thought I was going to go dark, but I don't think that's the right vibe. Like, this should be happy. That's where this will be different. And one thing, like, with trying to shoot her, like, trying to get into portrait type work. I mean, I used to, but now I'm not as much pushing for it. But like editing around skin tones and color grading around skin tones is not something I've done a lot of. Like, I think in the surf kind of photo stuff I have, but stuff like this, like I haven't really done it, so I don't really know what's gonna happen here. She may look like an Oompa Loompa after I'm done color grading. I hope that's not the case though. God, I hope she's not watching. Yeah. So far, it's okay. So normally, like, I think I would leave it somewhere in the warmer tones, but as I'm like going through these more and more, I'm starting to realize like that works sometimes, but with this, like, it just feels too lopsided. So if I want to bury that red further into the shadows, I have to use um the the curves like individual red channel. That's how I'll have to do that. So I'll get there in a minute. You see, like, this is really like less of a grade and more like controlling the color of the sky, which to me is too saturated. I do like knocking that down, and I think if I go back to the global, up it, like this just does so much in like both directions in terms of like controlling the feeling. Like I can't say it enough. Like it's smoothly, I think exposure has the propensity to blow things out or like clip your shadows, but this rarely does. It just kind of like it's like in Capture One, they have I think they have like a brightness slider. That's what they call it. I don't know. So you could see changing the exposure is kind of proverbially shat in the cereal. Like there's too much red. I'm gonna have to go back to the color grading. But I do think this is the better approach to kind of like almost blow it out. Like, definitely trying to catch feelings on this, but being like bright. Gotta go back. Yeah. See, this is. Oh shit. That's because this balance again is super powerful in terms of like where the color is being applied, like where the midpoint is. It's how I think of it. So if you move it up, like that's for darker images. This is more for bright images. So you can kind of evenly apply this to a brighter image. Yeah, green. Interesting. I don't think that changed too much. It's funny, like the brighter it is, the more I have to kind of lean into the grade, a little more saturation. This bugs me though, like how blue that is. What is that? I think it's blue and green. Mostly blue. That just stands out to me. It's okay through here, but through here it's not. That's probably going to be a tonal curve fix if I can. So again, just trying to unify it. You see there's some weird stuff going on through here. Yeah, it's like her hair's green. That's a problem. Not what you want. I don't know if I can fix this with greens go more yellow. No, I've lost all control. This is... Hmm. I'll chill on that a little bit. I can lift these up a little bit. Like I might try and fix it with this. Select through here. Yeah, so that's taking care of it for the most part. There's still some areas where it's not. But if you look up at the histogram, the reds have kind of evened out. So that's, to me, that's one of the better ways to use the curves panel. And like even with this. Yeah, so it's too far. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do much about that. Unless I paint it in with a local edit. I just don't want to do that. Like, things are looking weird over here, actually, now that I see it. So again, this is where you can kind of fudge things a little bit. Like, I'm making my sky blue. So we've come a long way. We're kind of faking a feeling on this. This is probably one I'm going to do a couple edits on. Oh, so I can control that. That feels better already. At least for this thing. Theory, I like that, but I don't know if that's a smart preview that's being problematic. I mean, yeah, it's just trying to pull too much info out of a dark image. Hmm. My problem is that she feels kind of pasted on. I don't doubt that that's going to be kind of a byproduct of, like, the conditions were not totally like this, but I just feel like I've lost a lot down here in terms of like the dynamic. Again, something that can be overcome with local edits, but I just don't want to go that route. Hmm. It's a start. I mean, something that's probably more properly exposed would be better. Let's see if there's any others that was. Yeah, I guess since no one's really here, I guess photos aren't of interest to people. That's fine. I just, there's other things I can do while I edit photos. I can listen to music. I can watch some other streamers do that kind of shit. Yeah, just photos aren't people's thing. All good. Kind of trying to break that stigma of like being too like people only finding me for my design. Like, don't want to get pigeonholed. And I realize like not streaming this and streaming what people are after is only going to reinforce that. But I don't know. I got to figure out a balance. Hmm. Weird to make the greens yellow. It does create some decent color contrast. Or in the middle, per usual. I don't want this to feel cold. Kind of like this weird, like industrial meets greenery. This is the High Line in New York, if you're curious. And this global brightness gonna help a lot. Catch those feels. I'm just looking up at the thumbnail periodically. Like, it's always interesting to me, like the difference between the full size and the thumbnail. Like, gives you a better sense of the feel. Kind of revisiting some of these things. Again, not as, I don't know what's going on. Been slightly underwhelmed by everything I'm doing on here. I think some of the New York, oh shit. Yeah, some of the skyline ones I think were coming together. Some of these just like, yeah, with what I was doing on the on my phone, like it just feels underwhelming. Don't really know how else to put it. Like much more of a vibe on those. But we'll see. We'll figure it out. Those are it's again a perspective thing. It's all strange. Trying to line the center of here with the center of that. It's just not, apparently not physically possible. In fact, like these, I'm trying to get centered. Not as like attached to that being centered because it's kind of a line. Doesn't really do much. Oh, blow my knees out sitting like this. Again, push some weird colors through the highlights and stuff like that. Remove points if you don't need them. Never a bad idea. Decent. This one could be crazy. I don't know. Like, it's not super sharp at a 13th of a second. You kind of understand why. I just do not pay attention to changes in light, and especially like shooting outdoor to indoor really quickly. I feel like I need to get better at that. I want to revisit these. Feel bad. I wonder if I could do more. This is where I start really disliking how small this panel is. Are these better? More distinct light. It's kind of interesting. I might call it right here, actually. Yeah, I would call it. Yeah, interesting stream. I guess people don't like photos, but that's gonna be, I don't know. I'm gonna let you guys bully me out of photos. But I think there's gonna be a lot more design stuff coming up. So maybe I'll focus on that. Maybe it's the time. Morning streams. I really don't know. Oh, this one could be fun. Maybe I'll do one more. With those dusk vibes. I mean, I really didn't do anything. I'm just gonna jump straight in. I'm impatient as fuck. I just see like what this can be through some of the usual means. This is where I'm getting into like color grading through global. I just shouldn't do that. You can see like how I'm using only half the histogram on this. This is where like curves modifications are going to be such a pain in the ass. I can't get in there. Literally get into moving points 1 pixel. I wonder if I really just fucking make this. So what's happening is like when I hit that highlight, it's starting to trigger the global like highlight softening I have because it's getting into values that are up around here, which I think I need to be better about like modifying the luminance range that this is affecting. How's that affecting so much? I guess this is relative. The brightest value? That's weird. Like they're just picking and choosing which ones to be relative about. I don't get that. Hmm. Weird. Can't tell which I like. Blowing it out. Yeah, I think a little detail. Probably just chase it. This is all very soft. So this is where you can't get away with like a ton of contrast with the HSL. Like you kind of have to follow things through. That was nothing doing anything. It's probably really bad grammar, but that's part of the package deal. I haven't even touched this yet. Kind of interesting. Like a lot of like the vibey pictures people post, more like film feels. They really like green channels. It really kind of does a lot. Like that's really where, to me, the vibe is. Should throw air quotes on vibe. Where a vibe is sort of established. Could be wrong. It's just what it seems like. Hmm. I mean, this is like flirting on the edge. There's so little contrast in this. It's a little warm. Kind of wish I stayed for nighttime so I could have some night shots from here, but it gives me something to come back to. I want to copy this. Hmm. Hey, it's Bond. Probably pushing this too hard. Actually, I should do color range. Let's see. I haven't really done a lot of this before. Oh wow, you can get in fucking trouble. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I just want to fucking glow off of it. I don't really use defringe or moire. Huh. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like I'm pushing this way too much. It looks fucking fake. So I'm not doing that much. That bond's actually kind of bugging me. Creates more of a singular focus. I don't know if I like the framing though. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I made it to 12. I got distracted with this other photo. I'll be back at some point. I don't really know. Wow, that's a lot of emails. What the hell? What is going on this morning? My brother texted me out of the blue. He doesn't talk a lot about music, just we send each other music, but just out of the blue, like, and it's mostly like house type stuff. Just texted me to say this new Kanye album is shit. I couldn't agree more. It's fucking awful. I miss that old Kanye. All right, before I lose any more subscribers, thank you again to everyone who subscribed. I think it's rad to see the subscribers just keep growing. It's, you know, I know there's not always gonna be a ton of people in here. Since I can't be reliable, that's on me. And I'm kind of annoying, but that's part of the deal. I'd like to say I'd be back later, but I don't really know. I don't know what's going on today. It could happen, probably won't. Probably we'll be back this week. I want to see if I can wrap my head around this branding thing. Get the branding project started for my buddy that I haven't even touched. I think the one lifestyle brand I'm working on right now. Me, I don't know. I might kind of keep that under wraps because that's kind of my own thing. But the other one's for a friend. He's like a small shaper, and so something happens, someone's poaches it or whatever. You know, I don't really care. This other one I kind of want to keep under wraps. We'll see. It could change. But all right, I am out of here. Gonna eat. Get on with my life. Sorry I don't like photos. I'm gonna do more photo streams. But what can you do? All right, I'll be back. See you guys.